A woman dies on a bus in Brazil with 26 iPhones glued to her body. An angry man returned to a bakery in New Jersey 4 years later to stab the owner over a sandwich. And an 88-year-old man died after his homemade helicopter didn't quite take off. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast in the universe. I got 3 weird stories from all around the world. Here we go. In a bizarre case out of Brazil, a woman has died and was discovered to have 26 iPhones glued to her body. Well, they do say this generation is always glued to their phones, so let's find out what's going on with this situation. She was found on a bus, of all places. Not a great place to perish. Better than a bus stop, of course, and way better than being under a bus. You don't want to die under a bus. Let's find out why she had so many iPhones attached to her body, and let's find out if anybody's been charged. It says police are investigating the death of a young woman. She died with 26 iPhones glued to her person. She's 20 years old, from Brazil. She was a passenger on a bus that was traveling from Foz do Iguacu. I'm not even gonna try it again. All right, she was going to Sao Paulo on a bus. Let's just say that when she fell ill, emergency services were called when the bus was stopped at a restaurant in Guarapuava in southern Brazil. When the woman complained of breathing difficulties, despite the efforts of paramedics with the mobile emergency care services, the woman's breathing worsened soon after, and she had a seizure in a restaurant. Sadly, after about 45 minutes of the emergency care services trying to revive this young woman, she was declared dead at the scene. While they were trying to treat the woman, who was traveling alone on the bus, the paramedics noted several packages attached to her body. Police later confirmed they were packages containing iPhones that had been glued directly to her skin. About 26 iPhones in total were glued to her skin. I'm going to guess this was a phone mule. You've heard of drug mules, people smuggling drugs by putting them under their clothing or inside their bodies in various orifices. I've covered many of those stories on the podcast. Perhaps she had glued these phones to her body as a way of smuggling them over a border of some sort. Or maybe she was just trying to make a 360 video the old school way. I don't know. Someone should have told her that the new phones have this option built right in. According to the report by the investigators, they believe that the woman may have been attempting to smuggle these items to avoid paying the high taxes that electronic goods attract when bringing them across the border into Brazil. Now, it all makes sense at the end of the day, but why would you glue them to your body? That's not going to be good for your skin, and it probably is going to ruin the phone as well, I'd imagine. Anyways, I got more questions than answers here. I mean, the only thing I'm certain about is that this woman is a dead ringer. It says her luggage was found to contain several bottles of alcohol as well. A search with sniffer dogs did not uncover any illicit drugs, so they call them sniffer dogs here. It's not really a professional name. I'm sure the dogs don't appreciate being called sniffer dogs. Hello, they're drug and contraband locator devices. Now, of course, the phones and the alcohol have been seized by authorities, and the woman's body was sent to the Forensic Medical Institute to investigate the cause of death, which they're still awaiting to hear on. They do not know what it was. Perhaps it was the alcohol combined with what I would imagine would be very hot temperatures on a Brazilian bus. Or maybe it was just 5G. Maybe she died of 5G. It's a 5G OD, as they call it, I believe, in investigative circles. Nonetheless, the civil police are investigating the case, and they're awaiting the conclusion of forensic reports to clarify the cause of death. And meanwhile, they're investigating the origin of the iPhones as well. It's a very sad case. What did we learn here? We learned that, as they say, too much screen time is very unhealthy. Bakery owners in New Jersey were stabbed over a sandwich that they served 4 years previously. This story is out of Paterson, New Jersey. 2 bakery owners in Jonesy say they were stabbed over something that they served to a customer 4 years ago. Abed Assad showed up to the Baladna Bakery on Main Street with his arm in bandages and a sling after he suffered slash wounds to his arm. His brother is currently in the hospital over his knife attack that occurred at the bakery. And it's all over a sandwich that they had served to somebody. Let's get all the details. This is really wild. Somebody's obviously very good at holding grudges for a very long time. I'm pretty good at holding a grudge myself for even years, but I've never felt stabby about any of them, thankfully. Now, according to a witness, the suspect walked into the bakery at 8 p.m. on Thursday, complaining about eggplant that was wrongly put into his sandwich, claiming he's allergic to eggplant. The suspect is quoted as saying, "You give me eggplant in my sandwich and then my stomach was bothering me." Probably said it with an accent, but I'm not going to do it. That's a low-hanging eggplant, in my opinion. Okay, so let's break it down. We have a sandwich that was served with eggplant inside. I like eggplant. This customer is allergic to the eggplant, so very angry about it. Maybe had a reaction years ago. All right, so it all comes down to a food allergy. I thought maybe this guy learned about the eggplant emoji just last week and was like, "Hey, they gave me eggplant at that bakery. That bakery made me gay." Now, according to the witness, the dispute turned very violent, with one of the brothers, Muhammad, getting stabbed in the stomach by this man. When the brother stepped in to help, he was slashed in the arm. Both men were taken to the St. Joseph's University Medical Center for their wounds. As for the suspect, according to the bakery owners, they say the angry customer just ran away. The knife-wielding suspect ran away. The mayor of Paterson, New Jersey, was in the Main Street Business District afterwards to speak to residents and merchants about this scary and unexpected event. He said, "They're concerned. This type of thing does not happen in that area, so I tried to assuage some of the fears, allay their concerns, reassure them that the police department is completely focused on bringing whomever is responsible for this tragic, violent incident to justice, and we will, mark my words." So he's getting the message across in the most Jersey way possible. Hey, you think you can just stab our bakers and get away with it? You can't just stab our bakers and run away, huh? We're going to find you, whoever you are, you scumbag, yeah? And then we're going to just, I don't know, maybe we'll fit you for some cement shoes. Maybe make you take like a long walk off a short pier, huh? You want to go swimming with the fishes? Yeah, that's how we handle bakery stabbers around here. As of the publication of this article, they have yet to find the suspect who was last seen running down Main Street. Well, I hope they find this man, but if you do, be careful, everybody, be careful. He's wielding a knife, and he's very angry. He's been carrying a grudge around for 4 years. When anger ferments and ages like fine sake, this is what you get. And they say the kids don't have long attention spans anymore. Well, here's one that's got a long attention span. 4 years long, apparently. Food allergies can push you to the edge. I can speak from personal experience. I have a tree nut allergy that sometimes can be very debilitating, and it does make me angry. But I would never get mad at a baker or anybody in the kitchen preparing the food. It's kind of on me. You got to ask questions before you eat when you have severe food allergies, as me and the gentleman in the gentleman. I mean the maniac with the knife in the story. Now, I admit I had an incident at a restaurant where I made a big scene. I made a big scene over my nut allergy. I ate some mashed potatoes, sweet mashed potatoes, and they had crushed walnuts in them. I had never heard of that before, and the potatoes weren't labeled as having walnuts in them, and so I ate some, and I got that feeling in my throat. I'm like, oh no, here we go again. This is going to happen. And before I left the restaurant, though, I told them what happened. I said, "You didn't label your mashed potatoes as having these in them. I'm having a reaction. I need to leave immediately. Could I please have a refund?" And the guy said, "Well, we'll refund you the drink." And then I just went bananas on these people. I just went bananas, screaming at the top of my lungs that I was going to sue the pants on their organization and all of this. This was in a New York City deli. That was about the limit of my nut allergy rage, but I believe it was warranted at the time. I don't think 4 years later you should be showing up at the place of business and attacking people. This is just a mental illness, in my belief. They'll eventually catch the guy because cameras. And but I mean, lucky for him, they probably aren't going to be serving eggplant in prison. An 88-year-old man died after his homemade helicopter fell apart during takeoff An 88-year-old Russian man who gained some local fame for building his own aircraft has died after attempting to take off in this homemade helicopter of his. A little ambitious, I would say, for an 88-year-old. When you're 88 years old, falling out of bed could be fatal. But this guy doesn't care. He's like, you know what? I'm going to make a helicopter in my own backyard here. Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about homemade aircraft, but these are probably not things you want to DIY on. Maybe a drone, that's fine, but not something you're actually going to get in and ride around. And it's not just aircraft devices. I would extend this warning to submersibles as well. We all learned a lot from that little submarine that took a trip. Now, our 88-year-old inventor is a resident of the Omutninsky district of western Russia's Kirov region. Authorities say that his attempted flight in the self-built aircraft occurred last Thursday. The helicopter unfortunately self-destructed during the takeoff, they added. There was a video provided as well with this article, and I watched the attempt, and I'm not going to lie. I mean, this guy went flying, really. Not the kind of way he anticipated flying. He was just chucked from this thing. It's really crazy, the video. The article has some details saying the aircraft failed to lift off and instead during engine startup while still on the ground, and as the engine power was building up, the main rotor blades detached. This caused injuries to the pilot, who was born in 1937. That's how they wrote this article. Which caused injuries to the pilot, who, by the way, was born in 1937. Probably shouldn't have been creating his own aircraft in his garage. The man was taken to the Omutninsky District Hospital, the Regional Transport Prosecutor's Office said. They also added that the vehicle was unregistered. No kidding. A helicopter he built in his backyard is unregistered? What a surprise. They recently gave out the name of the perished individual as Vladimir Trapeznikov. Trapeznikov? You can't write this stuff. Trapeznikov. Well, Trapeznikov, you should have stuck to that high wire instead of bringing in large rotating blades into the picture. Now, it says here Trapeznikov is actually pretty famous in the local area for building flying machines. Successfully flying a homemade airplane led him to a feature in a short film. This was in 1985. Trapeznikov made a total of 5 aircraft, according to reports, dying after attempting to launch his latest creation, the homemade DIY helicopter. He's not the first person to try to take to the skies in an aircraft of their own making. Yeah, I mean, Florida man's done this many times. The thing is, these aren't devices you want to DIY, especially a helicopter. I mean, a regular helicopter that's built well to certain regulations and specifics scares me. I'd be frightened just to get in one of those. Never mind a helicopter made in an old man's garage. But, one could make the argument that this guy's 88 years old. He's just doing what he loves in life. He's going out the way he wants to go out. We're going to find ourselves on our deathbed with regrets, regretting not shooting that movie that we wrote, regretting not going after the girl of our dreams that time, regretting not building the helicopter and taking off. So, kudos for this guy for living life all the way up to the end, the way he wanted to live it on his terms, doing the things that interested him, that make his heart race. Building high-flying machines without, proper safety specifications. Building helicopters by watching a YouTube tutorial video and then, living his life. Building a machine to, hopefully take him back to the future or whatever his dream was. And who knows? I mean, maybe years from now, we'll be calling this guy the Florida man of Russia. In Russia, you don't fly helicopter. Helicopter fly you.
Your burger is served. And this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. Its sweet profile perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger.
That is one perfect combination. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
Do you want to ride in my homemade helicopter? Tell me what you're gonna do. Spin me, spin me, spin me. If you want to ride in my DIY chopper, there are so many ways my chopper could kill you. What's up, my friends? How y'all doing? This is your host, Jonesy. Feeling it today. Got a lot of caffeine in my brain right now. Thank you. thank you to those of you who bought me coffees. You can always buy me coffee, keep me caffeinated on my website, weirdafnews.com. Just click on the Buy Me a Coffee banner. You can also join the Patreon there, which is a way to support the show. And someone just joined the Patreon, so let's give them some thanks and praise and a shout out. It's Chris Hilton, right? We got Chris Hilton here, who I believe I read Chris's email yesterday. Tremendous email that I got from Chris. Super supportive individual, fan of the show. He's going to listen to all the episodes. That's his way of torturing himself. He wrote me a nice note when he joined the Patreon saying, "Hey, Jonesy, this is Chris. You read my email, and I feel genuinely welcome to this crew of weirdos. I started listening in reverse order after the Monday episode, and then after singing along with you, laughing out loud to myself, and parenting your, quote, catchphrases, I remembered I needed to buy you some coffee, so I signed up for a year of the Patreon. Okay, no time to talk. I've got to get back to listening to you in reverse order. 2,000 episodes you say you have in your catalog, eh? Well, I say I can listen to them all. Thanks for everything, Jonesy. I'm sure you'll be hearing from me in the future, and good luck with your life, man." So isn't that a really sweet note from Mr. Chris Hilton? Big fan of the show. Going to listen to all 2,000 episodes. Chris is out of work right now, so it's going to be... No, I'm kidding. Anyways, shout out to Chris. Thank you, Chris, for being so supportive, such a fan of Weird AF News, and buying me a coffee every single month, which is what it's like when you join the Patreon. It's like buying me a cup of coffee every month. It's a great way to support the show, and you get extra Weird AF content in the Patreon. So I just put something in there yesterday, but I've been putting stuff in there every week. There's over 1,000 pieces of extra weird content in the Weird AF News Patreon. You can go there you can get there by going to patreon.com/weirdafnews or the website weirdafnews.com. Anyways, shout out to Chris and all my Patreon family. We're doing the Patreon only fantasy football league. I haven't set a draft date yet, so those of you who are interested, please, you have to be a member of the Patreon. Please just send me a message DM me in the Patreon. I'll get it. But I assume everybody who played last year will be returning. If you aren't, send me a little note. Anyways, we'll get that up and running ASAP. I'm excited for football season. So excited. As you know, I'm a huge football fan. I'm also really enjoying watching my Red Sox make a run for it. They're in second place in the division, and so I'm excited about all of these things that are sports related. That's what makes me happy as well. Sports, music, and this Weird AF News podcast with all of you wonderful, wonderful weirdos. Thank you for making my life great. Appreciate you, and good luck with your life, man.